Supporters of former student leader protest leader Gabriel Boric celebrated Chile's election results as he was elected the country's next president after defeating ultra-right incumbent Sebastián Piñera. Piñera conceded the election, congratulated Boric, who will be the youngest president in Chilean history. Boric had promised to install a welfare state in the campaigns and vowed to put an end to neoliberalism.
La emergencia de seguridad que estamos viviendo es un tema. Hacer de los barrios lugares más seguros y libres de narcos.
German defense minister said Russia cannot set terms with NATO on regional security as tensions soared between Moscow and the West over the conflict in Ukraine. She spoke during a visit to Lithuania, which, along with its Baltic neighbors, Estonia and Latvia, is worried about Russian troop buildup near its border with Ukraine. Earlier, the United States had said it was prepared to talk with Russia, but only in the presence of NATO allies.
Российские хакеры, не российско-американские.
United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres called on the international community to support Lebanon, which is grappling with a dire economic crisis and is home to over 1 million Syrian refugees. Guterres visited Lebanon's President Michael Aoun. Guterres said that the visit will focus on supporting the people of the crisis-stricken country. He then pressed for the political leadership to overcome their differences and find ways to resolve the crisis. The Lebanese are facing a deteriorating economic situation that began in late 2019, believed to be rooted in years of mismanagement and corruption. Hundreds of Polish protesters in the city of Warsaw staged a protest against a new parliament law that aims to control US-owned media in the country. The protests were called after the parliament passed a bill that would force an American media company to sell its controlling share of Poland's largest television network. The fate of the bill now lies with President. Government leaders have defended the legislation, citing national security and to limit the role of European media in forming public opinion. Tens of thousands of Sudanese protesters rallied to mark 3 years of mass demonstrations that led to the ouster of strongman Omar al-Bashir. This comes as fears mount for the democratic transition. Meanwhile, security forces fired tear gas at a huge crowd of protesters near the Republican Palace in the capital Khartoum. Protesters chanted slogans against the current military chief who led the coup on 25th of October. The generals had initially detained civilian leader Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok for weeks, but the general reinstated him on the 21st of November. However, the move alienated many of Hamdok's pro-democracy supporters who dismissed it as providing a cloak of legitimacy for the coup. Argentine President Alberto Fernandez paid homage to the dozens who were killed 20 years ago when riots erupted after people took to the streets over the country's economic crisis. In a ceremony, the names of 39 people killed were read out loud, some of whom were minors. A commemorative plaque was also unveiled at the front door of the government house. In 2001, the state had ordered a crackdown against the street demonstrations. This after protests spread all over Argentina on the 19th and the 20th of December 2001. A central government move suddenly saw their savings partly confiscated from their bank accounts. Japanese fashion tycoon, his producer, and a Russian cosmonaut departed the International Space Station, headed back to Earth, wrapping up the first visit by self-paying space tourists to the orbiting outpost in more than a decade. Visuals on your screens right now show the Russian Soyuz aircraft undock itself. The space tourists are set to land in the steppes of Kazakhstan.
MS-20 there, pulling away from the International Space Station. Once again, undocking occurred right on time at 5:50 p.m. Central, while the station and Soyuz were traveling 263 miles above Mongolia.
Thousands of visitors gathered on the streets of Moscow to welcome the two-day Comic-Con festival. People rushed to meet the special guest, Hollywood actor Tom Felton, who is best known for his role as Draco Malfoy from the Harry Potter series. The gathering came despite the surge in COVID-19 cases. Fans showed off costumes of their beloved characters in a cosplay competition, and the festival was organized by the largest publishing house in Russia, which is famous for creating original non-franchised comic books, as well as premiering a superhero movie, Major Chrome, earlier this year. Mexico City's majestic main Zocalo Square turned into a massive winter wonderland on the 17th of December. This as Mexicans got into the Yuletide spirit despite fears of a new coronavirus wave. In an ice slide, giant Christmas trees, light installations, carousels and amusement parks appeared on the streets of Mexico City downtown on Friday night. Christmas activities returned back to normal in Mexico's capital after a forced one-year break due to the coronavirus pandemic. This village can be visited until the 31st of December. It was Pope Francis's 85th birthday, where he received a cake from children who were assisted by the Vatican's Santa Marta Pediatric Dispensary. The children sang happy birthday as he met them in the Paul VI Hall. They welcomed him holding red balloons. Meanwhile, the pontiff walked towards them on a blue carpet to receive the cake, which depicted the dome of St. Peter's Basilica. Demonstrations in Belgium's capital Brussels against COVID restrictions turned ugly as police and protesters clashed. The marchers carried anti-vaccine placards to protest the government's vaccine mandate. Healthcare workers will have a 3-month window to get vaccinated against the virus beginning 1st of January or risk losing their jobs. 13 arrests were reportedly made for quote-unquote rebellion and possession of prohibited articles. Previous protests in Belgium have also descended into violence. The Netherlands will go into lockdown over the Christmas period to try to stop a surge of Omicron coronavirus variant. All non-essential shops, restaurants, bars, cinemas, museums and theatres will be shut until second week of January, while schools must close at least until January 9th. People are only allowed 2 guests at home except for Christmas, and closer to the New Year, 4 guests will be permitted. The Prime Minister's announcement came after an emergency cabinet meeting and just 4 days after the government announced that schools would start their holidays earlier. In the United States, New York City saw a substantial rise in COVID-19 cases. With the Omicron variant, New York City reported more than 5,500 new cases, making a 5% increase in positive cases since the beginning of the month. The mayor urged citizens who haven't been vaccinated to do so, and for all New Yorkers to wear masks in public indoor spaces. He said he did not anticipate a lockdown like the city experienced in the first months of the pandemic, adding that he expected the surge in Omicron cases to be fast and temporary phenomenon. The city also expects to have an announcement this week on whether it will move forward with public New Year's Eve celebrations in Times Square. Tens of thousands of residents in Austria's Vienna were part of the Sea of Lights commemoration. The silent march was held to honor over 13,000 Austrians who've died in the coronavirus pandemic. The residents organized a chain of more than 13,000 candles, one each for every life lost. And the event was supported by dozens of civil society organizations and drew more than 30,000 people. The commemoration was also intended to show solidarity with healthcare workers following several weeks of anti-coronavirus demonstrations in the Austrian capital. Members of Spain's military emergency unit measured toxic gases near homes in La Palma. Soldiers were wearing oxygen tanks and gas masks. They took the data recordings inside the buildings. Authorities have allowed evacuated residents to return to clear their ash-covered houses. The scientists suggested solidifying lava vents beneath the volcano could herald an end to the 3-month eruption. The eruption of the volcano expanded the size of the island by more than 48 hectares and was the longest ever in La Palma. Thousands of people have been evacuated, nearly 3,000 buildings destroyed, and the island's economically vital banana plantations have been devastated as well. After claiming more than 200 lives in the Philippines, Typhoon Rai is heading towards Vietnam. Heavy rain, strong winds forced the evacuation of thousands of people living along the Vietnamese coastline. Strong waves and wind reportedly killed a fisherman and sunk 5 vessels. Authorities instructed fishing boats to take shelter, with Rai forecast to make landfall soon. Reports said that the army has been mobilized to help build sandbag walls along the beach to prevent flooding. Rai will be the 9th storm to hit Vietnam this year.
Chính quyền địa phương và các hộ dân đã tiến hành từ tối qua đến nay liên tục đánh vào uy hiếp các khu dân cư trong khu vực nguy hiểm. Huyện Lý Sơn đã phát đi thông báo yêu cầu người dân không hàng rào chắn sóng để ngăn nước tràn lên bờ.
After being rescued, a young green turtle defecated almost a dozen bits of plastic and trash. The turtle was rescued in a fishing net off the coast of Argentina on the 13th of December. Expelled a total of 18 grams of plastic fragments such as nets, plastic caps. X-rays have revealed a blockage of debris in the animal's intestines, and the turtle is undergoing treatment at the rescue center of Mundo Marino Foundation. Experts have sounded the alarm over how plastic pollution kills vast numbers of seabirds, marine mammals, and destroys the ocean ecosystems. A new sport is gaining popularity among Russians, and it involves wrestling inside a car. Wrestling fans took part in the first ever car jitsu competition, which was inspired by popular Brazilian martial art jiu-jitsu. This match lasts for 2 rounds, with each athlete starting the round either on the driver's side or the passenger seat, and then they switch between the rounds. The points are awarded for submission or gaining an advantageous position. Organizers said that the key to winning is the creative use of the environment. Everything inside the car, including safety belts, steering wheel, mirrors and chairs, can be used to gain an upper hand. In a bid to cheer children and revive the Christmas spirit, Santa Claus went around the Solimos River in Amazon basin. The Santa stopped at the riverine communities along the jungle shoreline. Now, since 1998, the project Friends of Santa Claus has distributed gifts to children throughout the Amazon state. Volunteers travel by boats to deliver toys to over 500 riverine communities. Children in the past 23 years, the project has visited more than 500 communities, bringing joy to more than 150,000 children.